Michael Jackson death, memorial service, and aftermath. On June 25, 2009, Jackson stopped breathing while attempting to sleep under the care of Conrad Murray, his personal physician. Murray had reportedly given Jackson an array of medications in an attempt to help him sleep at his rented mansion in Holmby Hills, Los Angeles. Attempts at resuscitating Jackson were unsuccessful. Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics received a 911 call at 12:22 p.m. PDT, 1922 UTC, arriving 3 minutes later. Jackson was reportedly not breathing and CPR was performed. Resuscitation efforts continued en route to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, and for more than an hour after arriving there at 1:13 p.m., 2013 UTC. He was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. Pacific Time, 21:26 UTC. Jackson died of a cardiac arrest. Jackson's death triggered a global outpouring of grief. The news spread quickly online, causing websites to slow down and crash from user overload, and putting unprecedented strain on services and websites including Google, AOL Instant Messenger, Twitter, and Wikipedia. Overall, web traffic ranged from 11% to at least 20% higher than normal. MTV and BET aired marathons of Jackson's music videos. Jackson specials aired on television stations around the world. MTV briefly returned to its original music video format, airing hours of Jackson's music videos, accompanied by live news specials featuring reactions from MTV personalities and other celebrities. Memorial service. Jackson's memorial was held on July 7, 2009 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, preceded by a private family service at Forest Lawn Memorial Park's Hall of Liberty. Tickets to the memorial were distributed via lottery. Over 1.6 million fans applied for tickets during the two-day application period. The final 8,750 recipients were drawn at random, and each recipient received 2 tickets. Jackson's casket was present during the memorial, but no information was released about the final disposition of the body. The memorial service was one of the most watched events in streaming history, with an estimated U.S. audience of 31.1 million, an amount comparable to the estimated 35.1 million that watched the 2004 burial of former President Ronald Reagan and the estimated 33.1 million Americans who watched the 1997 funeral for Princess Diana. Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, John Mayer, Jennifer Hudson, Usher, Jermaine Jackson, and Shaheen Jafar Goli performed at the event. Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson gave eulogies, while Queen Latifah read "We Had Him," a poem written for the occasion by Maya Angelou. The Reverend Al Sharpton received a standing ovation with cheers when he told Jackson's children, "Wasn't nothing strange about your daddy. It was strange what your daddy had to deal with. But he dealt with it anyway." Jackson's 11-year-old daughter Paris Catherine, speaking publicly for the first time, wept as she told the crowd, "Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. I just wanted to say I love him so much." The Reverend Lucius Smith provided a closing prayer. Jackson's body was entombed on September 3, 2009, at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Cause of death. In August 2009, the Los Angeles County coroner ruled that Jackson's death was a homicide. At the time of death, Jackson had been administered propofol, lorazepam, and midazolam. According to the county coroner, Jackson's death was caused by acute propofol intoxication. Criminal investigation and prosecution. Law enforcement officials investigated Jackson's personal physician, Conrad Murray, and charged him with involuntary manslaughter in Los Angeles on February 8, 2010. Shortly thereafter, the California Medical Board issued an order preventing Murray from administering heavy sedatives. Murray's trial began on September 27, 2011. On November 7, 2011, Murray was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and he was held without bail to await sentencing. On November 29, 2011, Murray received the maximum sentence of 4 years in prison. Murray was released on October 28, 2013 due to California prison overcrowding and good behavior. Aftermath. On June 25, 2010, the first anniversary of Jackson's death, fans traveled to Los Angeles to pay tribute. They visited Jackson's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, his family home, and Forest Lawn Memorial Park. Many carried sunflowers and other tributes to leave at the sites. Members of the Jackson family and close friends arrived to pay their respects. Katherine Jackson returned to Gary, Indiana to unveil a granite monument constructed in the front yard of the family home. The memorial continued with a candlelight vigil and a special performance of We Are the World. On June 26, 2010, fans marched in front of the Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery Homicide Division at the old Parker Center building, and assembled a petition with thousands of signatures, demanding justice in the homicide investigation. The Jackson Family Foundation, in conjunction with VoicePlate, presented Forever Michael, an event bringing together Jackson family members, celebrities, fans, supporters and the community to celebrate and honor his legacy. A portion of the proceeds were presented to some of Jackson's favorite charities. In the 12 months after his death, Jackson sold more than 8.2 million albums in the United States and 35 million albums worldwide, making him the best-selling albums artist of 2009. He became the first artist to sell 1 million downloads in a week in music download history, with a record-breaking 2.6 million downloads of his songs. 3 of his albums, Thriller, Number Ones, and The Essential Michael Jackson, sold more than any new album, the first time a catalog album has ever scanned more sales than any new album. Jackson also became the first artist in history to have 4 of the top 20 best-selling albums in a single year in the United States. Following this surge in sales, Sony extended its distribution rights for Jackson's material, which had been due to expire in 2015. On March 16, 2010, Sony Music Entertainment, spearheaded by its Columbia/Epic Label Group division, signed a new deal with the Jackson estate to extend their distribution rights to his back catalog until at least 2017, and released 10 new albums of previously unreleased material and new collections of released work. On November 4, 2010, Sony announced the first posthumous album, Michael, released on December 14, with a promotional single, Breaking News, released to radio on November 8. Sony Music paid the Jackson estate $250 million for the deal, plus royalties, making it the most expensive music contract pertaining to a single artist in history. Video game developer Ubisoft announced a dancing and singing game featuring Michael Jackson for the 2010 holiday season, Michael Jackson, The Experience. It was among the first games to use Kinect and PlayStation Move, the motion-detecting camera systems for Microsoft's Xbox 360 and Sony's PlayStation 3 respectively. On November 3, 2010, the theater company Cirque du Soleil announced that it would launch Michael Jackson, The Immortal World Tour in October 2011 in Montreal, while a permanent show would reside in Las Vegas. The 90-minute $57 million production combined Jackson's music and choreography with the Cirque's artistry, dance and aerial displays involving 65 artists. On October 3, 2011, a compilation soundtrack album accompanying the tour, Immortal, was announced. A second, larger and more theatrical Cirque show, Michael Jackson, 1, designed for a residency at the Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas, was announced on February 21, 2013. This show began its run on May 23, 2013 in a newly renovated theater to critical and commercial success. In April 2011, billionaire businessman Mohammed Al-Fayed, chairman of Fulham Football Club, unveiled a statue of Michael Jackson outside the club's stadium, Craven Cottage. Fulham fans were bemused by the statue and failed to understand the relevance of Jackson to the club. Al-Fayed defended the statue and told the fans to go to hell if they did not appreciate it. The statue was removed in September 2013 and moved to the National Football Museum in Manchester in May 2014. In 2012, in an attempt to end public family feuding, Jackson's brother Jermaine Jackson retracted his signature on a public letter criticizing executors of Michael Jackson's estate and his mother's advisors concerning the legitimacy of his brother's will. T.J. Jackson, son of Tito Jackson, was given co-guardianship of Michael Jackson's children after false reports surfaced of Katherine Jackson going missing. On May 16, 2013, choreographer Wade Robson alleged on the Today Show that Jackson sexually abused him for 7 years, beginning when Robson was 7 years old. Robson had previously testified in defense of Jackson in the 2005 child molestation trial. The attorney for Jackson's estate described Robson's claim as outrageous and pathetic. On December 19, 2017, Judge Mitchell L. Beckloff dismissed the lawsuit, citing that Robson had filed too late for the Jackson's estate to be held liable. In February 2014, the Internal Revenue Service reported that Jackson's estate owed $702 million, including $505 million in taxes, plus $197 million in penalties after the estate had undervalued Jackson's fortune. On March 31, 2014, Epic Records announced Xscape, an album of 8 songs of unreleased material. It was released on May 13, 2014. On May 12, 2014, another man, Jimmy Safechuck, sued Jackson's estate, claiming Jackson sexually abused him from the age of 10 to about 14 or 15 in the 1980s. During the 2014 Billboard Music Awards on May 18, a Pepper's Ghost likeness of Jackson appeared, dancing to Slave to the Rhythm, one of the tracks from Xscape. Later that year, Queen released 3 duets that Freddie Mercury had recorded with Jackson in the 1980s. In December 2015, Thriller became the first album in the United States to surpass 30 million shipments, certifying it 30 times platinum. 1 year later, the album was certified again at 33 times platinum, surpassing 33 million shipments after SoundScan added streams and audio downloads to album certifications. Jackson's earnings have exponentially increased following his death. According to a report by Forbes in 2016, he had been the top-earning dead celebrity each year since his death, with triple-digit millions per annum, $825 million in 2016. A new compilation album, Scream, was released on September 29, 2017. In July 2018, Sony ATV bought the Jackson estate's stake in EMI for $287.5 million.